Welcome back. Today we are exploring a game that embodies the gritty charm and challenging gameplay of the mid-90s. Released in 1994 by Blizzard Entertainment, Blackthorne quickly became a cult classic for fans of action platformers. This game takes players on an epic journey through a dark and unforgiving world, blending elements of fantasy and sci-fi in a way that was quite unique for its time. Set in the grim world of Tuul, players control Kyle Blackthorne Vlaros, a tough-as-nails warrior with a mysterious past and a shotgun slung over his shoulder. The game's dark atmosphere and mature themes set it apart from many of its contemporaries, appealing to players looking for a more serious and immersive experience. With a story steeped in revenge and redemption, Blackthorne offers a rich narrative that keeps players engaged as they navigate its challenging levels. The game is remembered not only for its tight controls and innovative mechanics such as the ability to hide in the shadows and shoot enemies behind the back, but also for its stunning visuals and atmospheric soundtrack. The story of Blackthorne is a dark and epic tale that blends elements of high fantasy with gritty sci-fi, creating a compelling narrative that draws players into its world. The game is set on the planet Tuul, a once peaceful realm torn apart by the conflict between two factions, the Androthai and the Kadra Sul. At the center of this struggle is Kyle Vlaros, known as Blackthorne, the exiled prince of the Androthi people. The story begins with a prophecy foretelling the return of the rightful ruler who would bring peace to Tuul. However, before this prophecy could be fulfilled, the kingdom is attacked by Sarlacc, powerful sorcerer and leader of the Kadra Sul. In a desperate bid to save his son, King Vlaros sends the young Kyle to Earth, where he grows up unaware of his true heritage. Years later, Kyle, now a hardened warrior with a chip on his shoulder, is called back to Tuul by the mysterious sage Galadriel. He learns of his royal lineage and the dire state of his homeland, now enslaved by Sarlacc's tyrannical rule. Armed with a shotgun and a newfound sense of purpose, Blackthorne embarks on a quest to liberate his people and reclaim his throne. The journey is fraught with peril, as Kyle traverses hostile environments ranging from dark caves and treacherous wastelands to the eerie shadow worlds, all filled with deadly traps and monstrous creatures. As Blackthorne fights his way through Sarlacc's minions, he uncovers the tragic fates of his people and the harsh realities of a world under the sorcerer's control. The story delves into themes of loss, sacrifice, and the struggle for freedom, all while exploring Kyle's inner conflict as he comes to terms with his past and the responsibilities of his royal bloodline. Along the way, he encounters various allies and enemies, each contributing to the rich tapestry of the narrative. These encounters not only add depth to the story, but also challenge Kyle's character, pushing him to grow and embrace his destiny as the savior of Tuul. Blackthorne's story is a testament to the game's mature storytelling and its ability to create a compelling narrative that resonates with players long after the credits roll. It's a tale of heroism and redemption, set against the backdrop of a richly imagined world. Blackthorne offers a gameplay experience that's both challenging and rewarding, capturing the essence of classic action platformers with a unique twist. At its core, the game revolves around navigating through a series of intricately designed levels, each filled with deadly traps, complex puzzles, and a variety of enemies. Players control Kyle Blackthorne Vlaros, utilizing his impressive agility and combat skills to overcome the numerous obstacles in his path. The game's controls are tight and responsive, allowing for precise movements, whether you're leaping across chasms, dodging enemy fire, or climbing ledges. One of the standout features of Blackthorne is its cover system, a relatively innovative mechanic for its time. Players can use the environment to their advantage by hiding in the shadows to avoid detection or dodge attacks. This system adds a layer of strategy to the gameplay, encouraging players to think tactically about their approach to combat and exploration. The ability to shoot enemies from behind without turning around is another unique aspect, adding to the game's distinct feel and emphasizing Kyle's badass demeanor. The combat in Blackthorne is a mix of strategic shooting and platforming. Kyle is armed with a shotgun, a weapon that feels satisfying to use, thanks to its impactful sound effects and animation. The game doesn't just throw hordes of enemies at the player. Instead, it presents carefully designed encounters where timing and positioning are crucial. Enemies range from simple soldiers to more challenging foes with unique attack patterns, requiring players to stay alert and adapt their strategies. As the game progresses, Players can also find bombs and other items, adding variety to the combat and puzzle-solving aspects. Puzzles in Blackthorne are well integrated into the level design, often requiring players to think critically about how to proceed. These puzzles typically involve manipulating the environment, such as activating switches to open doors or disabling traps. The difficulty ramps up as players progress, providing a satisfying sense of accomplishment when overcoming particularly challenging sections. Additionally, there are hostages scattered throughout the levels, whom Kyle can rescue for bonus points, adding an optional layer of challenge for completionists. The game also features a non-linear level design, allowing players to explore and backtrack through different areas. This design choice enhances the sense of adventure and discovery, as players often need to find keys or solve puzzles to access new parts of a level. The levels themselves are varied and visually distinct, ranging from dark underground mines to lush, alien forests and the foreboding shadow worlds. Each area presents its own set of challenges and aesthetics, keeping the gameplay fresh and engaging. Blackthorne successfully blends action, platforming, and puzzle elements into a cohesive experience that demands both skill and intelligence from the player. Its challenging difficulty is balanced by fair mechanics and rewarding progression, making every victory feel earned. The game's combination of strategic combat, clever puzzles, and atmospheric level design ensures that it stands out as a memorable and enduring classic in the retro gaming landscape. The graphics and music of Blackthorne are quintessential elements that elevate the game's immersive experience, showcasing the technological prowess and artistic vision of the mid-90s. The game's visuals are a striking blend of detailed pixel art and atmospheric design, creating a dark, moody aesthetic that perfectly complements its somber narrative. Developed for platforms like the Super Nintendo and Mrs. DOS, Blackthorne utilizes the hardware's capabilities to deliver a visually rich environment filled with intricate textures and vibrant color palettes. The character design in Blackthorne is particularly noteworthy, with the protagonist, Kyle, standing out as a rugged and imposing figure. His animation is smooth and fluid, especially for a game of its time, lending a lifelike quality to his movements. Whether he's leaping across gaps, stealthily hiding in the shadows, or engaging in combat, lighting and shadow effects play a significant role in Blackthorne's visual storytelling. The use of shadows is not just an aesthetic choice, but a gameplay mechanic that allows Kyle to hide from enemies. This interplay of light and dark adds depth to the visuals and reinforces the game's tone of lurking danger and mystery. The backgrounds and foregrounds often feature parallax scrolling, a technique that adds a sense of depth and dynamism to the 2D landscapes, making the world of Tuul feel expansive and alive. Complementing the game's striking visuals is its equally memorable soundtrack. The music of Blackthorne is a masterclass in atmospheric composition, using a mix of orchestral and electronic elements to evoke the game's dark and foreboding atmosphere. Each track is carefully composed to match the mood of the respective levels, whether it's the brooding and ominous themes that play in the caverns or the more intense, adrenaline-pumping music during combat encounters. The sound design extends beyond music, with crisp sound effects that add to the immersion. The satisfying boom of Kyle's shotgun, the unsettling growls of enemies, and the ambient noises of the environment all contribute to a rich auditory experience. The game's audio also includes voice samples, a relatively rare feature for the era. These samples, such as the chilling commands of Sarlacc's minions or the gruff responses from Kyle, add an extra layer of immersion and help bring the characters and world to life. Despite the technical limitations of the time, the sound quality in Blackthorne is impressively clear and impactful, enhancing the overall gaming experience. Blackthorne has carved out a notable legacy in the annals of retro gaming, standing as a testament to the innovative spirit and creative ambition of Blizzard Entertainment during the early 1990s. Although it may not be as widely recognized as some of Blizzard's later blockbuster titles like Warcraft or Diablo, Blackthorne holds a special place in the hearts of many gamers who experienced its unique blend of action, platforming, and atmospheric storytelling. The game's influence extends beyond its own release, having set a precedent for mature, narrative-driven experiences in a time when the gaming industry was still exploring the potential of video games as a storytelling medium. One of the key aspects of Blackthorne's legacy is its contribution to the genre of cinematic platformers, a style of game characterized by a strong emphasis on narrative, detailed animations, and complex level design. Alongside other classics like Prince of Persia and Flashback, Blackthorne helped define this genre, showcasing how games could deliver compelling stories and rich atmospheres through gameplay and visuals. Its innovative mechanics, particularly the cover system, were ahead of their time, influencing future game designs that would explore similar stealth and combat dynamics. The game's re-release on various platforms over the years, including a remastered version for modern consoles and PC, has allowed new generations of players to experience its dark, challenging world. These re-releases have not only preserved Blackthorne's legacy, but also highlighted its enduring appeal, demonstrating that the game's design and storytelling remain compelling even decades after its original debut. The continuing interest in Blackthorne speaks to its quality and the lasting impact it had on those who played it during its initial release. Moreover, Blackthorne's legacy is intertwined with the broader success story of Blizzard Entertainment. As one of the early titles developed by the company, it showcased Blizzard's commitment to quality and innovation. The lessons learned from creating Blackthorne informed the development of later titles, helping to establish Blizzard as a powerhouse in the gaming industry. The game's dark, mature themes and complex gameplay were a precursor to the more intricate and expansive worlds Blizzard would later create, such as those in Diablo and World of Warcraft. In the wider cultural context, Blackthorne has been remembered fondly in retrospectives and by gaming communities, often celebrated for its challenging gameplay and atmospheric design. It has inspired fan art, speedruns, and fan-made content, keeping the game alive in the public consciousness. The game's protagonist, Kyle, with his iconic shotgun and long flowing hair, remains a recognizable figure in retro gaming, symbolizing the rugged, gritty heroes of 90s video games. If you liked this deep dive into the retro world of Blackthorne, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, keep questing and keep gaming.